Subscribe.
So let's talk about food for a second to understand the basis of what food is and what our sustenance of our physical bodies really are. I want to preface with a few things. Number one, I was personally born and raised a vegan. I don't think that's the right way for everybody. I know people that have gone vegan and it wasn't good for them. They felt weak, it didn't do them well, and they moved back and they felt great. So I don't want you guys to hear what I say today as there is one way to eat, and if you don't follow it, it's wrong. That's not what I'm saying at all. I was always taught never to impose the way that I eat and the way that I live on anybody, because everybody has their own body. Everybody has their own ways. What I'm going to be teaching right now about food and the different levels of food is not based on an opinion. I don't want it to be my bias one way or another. I just want to give you the facts so you guys can walk away today with a lesson on food from an objective point of view. And what I say over here, nobody can disagree with, because it's not based on a thought. It's not based on a belief. It's not based on what I feel. It's based on what we know, what we can see, and what we can prove. So, right now we have a food pyramid according to the FDA, which pretty much gives you cancer. Okay, they tell you to eat this much bread, drink this much milk every day, and do this and that. That's another thing, by the way. You know we're the only species in the world that drinks milk from another species of animal?
Exactly.
Ever thought about that? We're the only species in the world that drinks milk from another species of animals past the maturation of the breastfeeding phase. There's no other animal that does it. Again, look deep into nature and you'll understand everything better. But that's more of just a fun little point along the way. There's a real food pyramid over here that we've forgotten, that has been erased from our textbooks, that I hope can come back into those textbooks. And that's a food pyramid based on how close something is to the essence of life, which is what we call light. Light is the most physical, non-physical thing that we have in this world that's as close as we can get to the spiritual essence of absolutely everything. Light. And it just so happens to be that the source of light and life in the world as we know it comes from what we call the sun, light. It's all light. So you have 4 different levels over here. The first level is called autotrophs. Fruits, vegetables, nuts, plants, all of those things are called autotrophs. Autotrophs are things that don't need to get their food from outside of themselves. They're things that make their own food. Unlike us, we're called heterotrophs. But let's stick to level 1 for a second. Autotrophs get their food directly from the highest source that we know, which is the sun. Then you have something called herbivores. Herbivores are your beef and your chicken and so on and so forth. Herbivores eat fruits and plants and vegetables and nuts and all that food, which gets its energy from the sun. So herbivores don't get it straight here. They have to go through this to get it from this. Carnivores are animals that eat other animals, meaning they get their energy from the herbivore, which got its energy from the fruits, the plants, the vegetables, and the nuts, which got its energy from the sun. Third removed. And processed foods is your fourth. So what is the difference between what I'm talking about over here and the people that have an agenda of telling you to go plant-based? They're disguising something that looks like this, but it's really this. They're telling you, eat from what looks like level 1, but it's really level 4. And because we've forgotten this pyramid of food, this true pyramid of energy that comes from the source of all life that we call light, we've been believing, many people around the world, that the Beyond Burger and the Impossible Burger is better than the steak. And it's not. The Beyond Burger and the Impossible Burger, energetically speaking, is better than the steak. Better is defined in my eyes, and this is now a definition that I'm creating. Better by defining it as what is closest to the source that we're connected to and trying to reach. So when you eat, if you want to reach the highest form of energy that you can fathom, do you want to eat from a primary source, a secondary source, a third source, or a fourth source? The truth is, every single one of these sources are connected to source. The Dorito is still connected to source. It's made up of a lot of garbage and manipulated so it creates problems, but technically, it's created to source. The point over here, if we want to live as healthy lives as possible, is to get as close to this as possible while still listening to our bodies. Because if you come from a lineage of people where generation after generation after generation, all they ate was meat, then probably what's going to happen when you decide that you hear this and you want to go vegan tomorrow, it's not going to go down very well. Because your body needs to adapt. Your body needs to shift. So some people see that shift and they say, well, I felt bad when I became a vegan. They say, it must not be good. And my answer is this. If you've been doing cocaine for a very long time, if you've been doing some sort of drug for a very long time, and you try to get off that drug, you're going to have something called withdrawal. And if you stop too quickly, you can actually die. Does that mean that that drug is good? No. It just means that your body is at a certain frequency of being. And if you try and shift that frequency too quickly, even from what's not so good for you to what's better for you, you can have a very, very tough time. It can hurt you, you can even die. So there needs to be a slow transition. And slow and fast is defined differently by everybody. Some people can do it in a week. Some people can do it in 10 years. Some people can do it in 1 year. And some people, their body simply isn't shifting fast enough, maybe because of their lineage, maybe because of something. It's not a bad thing. It's just the way that your body does things. To be able to get off something and move to something else. Just like if I were to start eating meat right now, I wouldn't be able to digest it. I wouldn't be able to digest it because my body doesn't know that. My body doesn't understand that energy. It doesn't understand that frequency. It literally would not be able to consume it. I would have a brick in my stomach. And I know that because I tried once. Couldn't go to the bathroom for 3 days. It was horrible. So again, it's about understanding and acknowledging and honoring the frequency that you are at, the vibration that you're in. This isn't about better or worse, and you're doing something wrong and somebody else is doing something right. This lesson specifically is just to understand the pyramid of energy, how light works, and how that light dilutes itself through primary, secondary, third, fourth sources and beyond of what we call food. If we want to have our best chances of health, I would say stick up here at the minimum. If you could stick up here, you're close. You're good. You're close to that light. And you'll be able to receive that light a whole lot better. Remember, you are what you eat, literally. I know people say that, and they're like, made it this cliche thing. But the way that digestion works is literally that. You eat something. Whoops. The way that digestion works is just that. You absorb things, and it's the replacement of matter. Old matter leaves, new matter comes in. That matter holds a frequency. The apple has a different frequency than the bread. And what you consume is the frequency you're going to become through what we call the replacement of matter. You literally absorb the vibration and the frequency of that food and become it. Mm-hmm. That's why if you want to train a guard dog to kill, you give it bloody red meat. That's how you do it. You take a very aggressive person, generally, you'll see they eat a lot of red meat. The more red meat, and it's a generalization because there are other nuances and factors, but the more red meat somebody eats, the more aggressive they're generally going to be. You take that same person and put them on fruits and vegetables for a few months, they're going to turn into a different person because scientifically it changes their brain chemistry. What you eat changes your brain chemistry. Your brain chemistry changes your perception. So they make fun of the vegans for hugging trees, right? There's a whole joke about all that of like how we're connected to nature. But it's only because of a shift and a change in perception. And that change in perception happens because of a change in the chemical balances in your brain based on what you're eating. So in short, to answer the questions that I've been asked many times, and then we'll go into questions as well, but to answer the question that I've been asked many times and also to connect it back to experiencing the energy enhancement system in the most productive way, if you want to experience your highest form of light, eat from the foods that are closest to the highest form of light. And if you can do that, your chances of experiencing health over dis-ease is multiplied by 10, if not more, based on how you're consuming your food and the energy that you're choosing to put in your body.
Subscribe.
Hey, thanks for watching this video. There's so much more I'd like to dive into, but unfortunately, we can't do that here thanks to the heavy censorship efforts from big tech. If you want to explore this topic further, you can dive deep by accessing our entire uncensored library on unified.tv. There's a link in the description below this video if you want to check it out. A membership to Unified TV gives you unlimited access to hundreds of uncensored podcasts, investigative journalism, documentaries, films, and content that was once available on major streaming platforms like Netflix, but is now banned from the internet. For just $14.99 a month, which is less than $1 a day, you get access to it all. Your subscription also helps keep the platform running free from censorship and corporate influence. Please consider supporting us and enjoy all of our unfiltered and thought-provoking content in return. Thank you very much, and I will see you on Unified TV.